Hey, Tony here for second progress report. Um, so I got all the guns done that you wanted. I could have probably worked on them more, but at least they're all reasonably done, and I've learned a lot in the process. Uh, yeah, so I've got three guns here. I'm just gonna show them off first, and then I'll talk about what I'm actually doing. So if you want to skip back and forth, feel free, of course. But I'm just gonna show it all real quick first, just so you know what I've done. Right. So starting with on the one key, we've got the default gun here, just for comparison's sake. And then on the two key, we have shotgun. I haven't really changed it much. And yeah, so it does all the same things from the last progress report, and sticks to walls, does physics, and affects the bad guys by sending them flying and murdering them simultaneously, actually. Right. So on the three key, we have the grapple hook. So I can shoot it with the left click. With R, I can reload it, deleting the previous one without using it. Or if I do it again and right click, I can grapple to it, the grapple point. So I didn't get a particle effect for it, unfortunately. I couldn't really figure out a good way to do it that I liked. Uh, yeah, but at least it works. So I'm pretty happy with that. And it actually wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, because Unreal does have a function for moving around, like interpolating for you. It has multiple functions actually, so that helped a lot without having to dig into like math and interpolation math. Anyway, so on the 4 key we have the rocket launcher. This is my favorite because it goes boom. Ah, yes. So what I'm doing here is I'm shooting a projectile, and as you can see, it's got a couple particle effects and a sound attached to it. Right, so that's the fun stuff, and it also has a area of effects, both for the physics and for bad guys. And it does a lot of damage, a lot more damage than the other guns. Well, I guess similar because they're all pretty. The bad guys are pretty low. Anyway, um, yeah. So the area effects is big. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show the trace for it. Yeah. So you've seen all the guns. Now I'm gonna kind of transition into the uh showing you a little bit more of like how I did it. I mean, obviously it's not gonna be optimal, but I think it was a pretty good first, second, and maybe third try over the last few weeks. Right, so here's what it's actually doing. Oh, it caught me in an explosion. Right, so it's got a 1,000 unit radius, so it's pretty big, but it is a rocket launcher. So yeah. So this particular one is like this is the best function I could find for it. There's probably a better one, but this is one that I figured out how to use at least, and it works pretty well to be honest. Especially having this trace function or functionality to it, pretty nice. But it does hit the same. Each of these is a hit, by the way, and that's the center. So yeah, each it does hit the same block twice for some reason. I don't know why. Uh, Actually, it's probably because it's rendering. It's doing two sphere tests, so it's probably catching it twice. Then actually, that would make sense. That's probably why. But I don't really couldn't really find a way around that, to be honest. So yeah, but I just accounted for it in the math because it reliably picks the same because it's basically you can sort of see it here that basically two overlapping B spheres. So it'll basically hit the same thing. It won't hit it or it'll hit it twice. So yeah, yeah. So you can kind of see the explosions and the messages for debugging. Well, those messages I added. Uh, right. So let's turn that. So I don't forget that. Right. Actually, might as well look at the rocket. So I'm gonna kind of transition into showing you a little bit how I do it. So that's the multi-capsule trace by channel here. This is So yeah, this is where this macro is just the excuse me, the fun stuff like sounds and the emitter for the explosion. Right. And in the viewport here we have the rocket trail, which I'm pretty happy with. I actually did this in Niagara using the limited resources that I had. Basically, I used like the spark sprite that came with the starting kit, and then I kind of just fiddled with a bunch of numbers until it became a cool particle. Yeah, and so basically what it's doing here is it finds every object in the uh, B-sphere. That's the type of object you're looking for. Basically anything that registers on the physics and the overlap, I should say. And so I just run through a for each loop and go through it and doing all this stuff. Probably could clean that up a little bit, but adds an impulse to them and applies radial damage. And if we look at the bad guy, got an event for radial damage here and a special macro just for the rocket damage, because I had to do it differently than I did the other damage, because the other damage was just a fairly basic check for on a hit for if a bullet hit you, if it's a bullet hitting you. Otherwise, like, because it won't be hit by anything except for a bullet, except for maybe the player and the other things, but it won't be hit very often. So I figured the basic check was fine. Although for the rocket launcher, because of the area of effects, I had to change it up a bit. So yeah, it's basically just minuses some health off based on the damage that it's fed, which has to do with how far it is from the center of the explosion radius, which the function actually does for you. I find it here. Oh yeah, here we are. Damage radius, origin. Yeah, so you get an origin radius, and the apply radial damage will calculate that out for you. Also base damage, yeah. So that's pretty nice. I was pretty happy with that. And yeah, so we'll take a quick look at the. I've already kind of showed off the pochette, which goes for the shotgun. That's the bullet for the shotgun. I sort of showed that off. Grapple hook. So I didn't have time to fully integrate the strategy pattern. I wanted to do it because it'd be great practice, but at least I got everything working. Like I'll probably go back and change it. I just got a dirty switch statement. should be a strategy pattern. But yeah, I'll probably go back and change that at some point. Or I don't know, maybe I'll do something else with strategy patterns just to practice blueprint strategy patterns. Yeah, I've got the macros here for the. Oh yeah, I originally had the shotgun as a function, but after you explain the functions versus macros a few times, I realized that it should be a macro, so I changed it to be a macro to kind of fit the shotgun. Rocket and the grappling hook are actually pretty simple. They just play potentially different sounds or and spawn different things. Oh yeah, the grapple's special because you can only shoot it one at a time. You have to get rid of the previous grapple before you can do it. That's so you don't confuse it. Yeah, I had to go through a lot of bug tests to make sure that it worked properly with and didn't try and grapple to a point that doesn't exist anymore, or grapple to multiple points. So yeah, gotta check that. All that. This has probably gone on too long. Anyway, that should be a decent check-in. Learning a lot and all that. This time, like today in particular, I was working in Niagara. It's pretty cool, to be honest. I would like to learn more about it, but Yeah, I feel like I didn't utilize it enough, to be honest. It's quite in depth. But I'm pretty happy with this little particle effect. Maybe so happy with it. Anyway, have a great one.